You even have the moon train, haven't you?
Uh-huh. Nice, isn't it?
Perfect. You haven't drugged the champagne, have you, darling?
No, I'm not that modest.
Thank you. Oh, my, don't let me fall asleep here, will you?
But that's never happened to me yet.
You're a tremendous success with women, aren't you?
Oh, stupendous. I have to fight 5 or 6 duels a week over them. Why, only last Tuesday.
No, don't tell me. I'm excited enough for tonight.
You don't act it.
Well, I should hope not. Do you suppose I want you to think that this is the first time in my life I have ever had supper in a gentleman's apartment alone at night?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised if it were the first time.
Are you trying to insult me, my good man?
Oh, I know you must have had plenty of opportunities. But I just like to believe that I'm a bit more persuasive than the other men you know.
You are. I have to admit that I'm completely enamored of you. Have been for years.
You've kept awfully quiet about it.
Too much competition. I knew I didn't have a chance.
Well, now that you have your chance, I trust you'll make the most of it.
Well, I'm trying to. Good evening, Freeman. Pardon me.
Good evening, Colby. It's unusually warm this evening.
Freeman?
Evening, sir.
Any messages?
Yes, sir. That is no, sir.
Well, make up your mind. Which is it, yes or no?
I think not, no, sir.
Oh, you think there were no messages?
Yes, sir. That is no, sir.
Well, this interests me. Perhaps you mean to say that you're not sure, is that it?
I'm sure, yes, sir.
Well, suppose you confide in me, Freeman. Were there or were there not any messages?
There were, yes, sir.
Ah, what were they?
6 telephone calls from Mrs. Page, sir.
Oh. Only 6?
Yes, sir.
Oh, hello, Val.
Hello, John.
Joan upstairs?
Yes.
You and Denny are coming to dinner tonight, aren't you?
Yes.
Good.
John,
Yeah?
could I talk to you a minute?
Sure. Serious business?
Very serious business. I want to ask you a favor.
Of course. What is it? Suppose I demonstrate.
My flowers.
The doctor just telephoned for us to come home. Lenny's sick.
Oh, my darling, nothing serious.
Well, the doctor says not, but I think we better go right away. I do hope it won't upset your dinner party.
Oh, no, not this dinner party, darling.
The Westons are leaving. Sick child. 2 less for dinner.
Nuts! And in that case, John will have to come to Washington.
Oh, I was just saying, Joan, that if John has to make a trip to Washington, I shall insist that he bring you along.
Does he have to go to Washington?
He will if he wants the government mail contract.
Oh, does that mean he has a chance of getting it?
Dinner is served, Mrs. Fletcher.
You know, something tells me I love you.
Yes, yes, go on.
I love you, I love you, I love you.
Darling, I love you. That's John Fletcher. He's taking Joan to dinner.
John Fletcher? Say, that's a swell idea. John Fletcher and Joan. I wonder why someone hasn't thought of that before.
Someone has, apparently.
Was Joan back yet?
No.
Oh,
Can't I come out, too?
1 or 2 pictures that might amuse you. Oh, well, my sweet, the years roll on and on. So far, all the men who wanted to marry me, I haven't wanted to marry. Of course, casual. Not meaning a thing.
Joan, you wouldn't.
I might.
But Joan, you're my last illusion.
At least it's a woman's business.
Joan, and you go on seeing him?
We might run up to his flat first. Love? Marriage has nothing to do with love. Marriage is a business. No.
Meaning none of my darn business.
Oh, not at all. If I had a talent like painting or music or writing, it'd be different. But I haven't.
What's it all about then?
Simply that I've definitely made up my mind I'm going to marry him. By the supper after the theater. Never seen my place, have you? Would learn not to let emotion interfere with theirs. Fewer of them would end up in the divorce court.
Married? Why, my poor deluded sister. You're going to find out he has something definite in mind, too.
Says he. Sort of offhand. No, says Joan, casting down her eyelids demurely. Oh, a nice little place, says he. Well, I only hope she sees it on the right type. Poor Monica.
Why poor Monica?
You loved her once.
It's curious, isn't it? How you can think you're in love with someone, and all of a sudden it's gone. You find yourself completely cold.
It is curious. And a little bit frightening.
It'll be better than anything you get at your restaurants, too.
Oh, maybe I'm marrying the wrong sister.
No, Valerie can cook if she has to.
A cocktail, Dennis?
Will I?
But marriage without love would be ghastly. I mean, think of it. I mean, how could you possibly?
Have you got the salt, dear? Thank you. Make his future mine.
But how can you even think of marrying him if you don't love him?
One of these fine nights, when he thinks I've had enough champagne for dinner, he's going to suggest very casually, oh, very casually, and oh, I am really ambitious to accomplish something. So I've decided my only chance is to marry a man with a future. Don't you love the smell of meat cooking?
And it isn't marriage.
I found that out already.
Oh, there's Dennis. Let him in, will you, darling? I've got to change my dress.
Father, let him in.
Well, here's Dennis. Where's Valerie?
Oh, hello, Dennis. Valerie, be right down.
Gosh, that smells good. Are we going to eat here?
No, cook's night out. I'm just fixing something for Father.
Well, you didn't think I'd say no, did you?
Hello, darling.
Hello, sweet.
How'd you like me?
Marvelous.
No cheap speakeasy for us tonight with this outfit on. I thought we'd go to the little club.
Oh, I was afraid of it.
John. John, wait, please.
I've heard enough.
You're not very hospitable, Johnny. You might at least offer me a sandwich or a cigarette.
Help yourself. That's right, isn't it?
No, my sweet, it isn't.
Sorry.
Is that your subtle way of telling me you've quite forgotten me in the past few weeks?
Now, Monica, you're not the sort of woman a man forgets.
No. Well, I used to get kissed when I called here in the good old days before the Depression.
So you did.
Well? Darling, you are tired, aren't you? Why don't you come along with us? The fresh air and the drive will do you good.
Please, Monica. Well, surprising as it may seem, I have some work to do tonight. Oh, really? Rather important work.
Oh, I see. Figures, I suppose.
Yes.
Well, I mustn't keep you from your important work. But I hope it isn't going to separate you from your friends altogether.
Oh, no.
I don't know. I've got to think. I'll ride as far as the hairdresser's with you if you don't mind.
I tell you what I'll do. I'll see how much I can raise on Mother's ring.
Oh, Joan, would you?
You don't happen to know of a good, reliable pawn shop, do you?
No, but I'll find one. Where are you having lunch?
At the Rendezvous with Eleanor Weston. Want to join us?
No, Elmer doesn't approve of me. And does that spoil my whole life? Besides, I'm lunching with Farley Drake.
Be a lifesaver.
Well, that's what I thought, so I invited him to dine with us tonight.
Do you realize I can't play a decent game of polo anymore? You know your brother-in-law walloped the tar out of me at golf.
Oh, well, you'll have to put it over. All I can do is to get him here. And Father's told him what wonders you've already done with the Fletcher line.
Due entirely to your confounded nagging.
And he said he'd come.
Say, that's great, Joan. What a fair-haired little business genius I'd be if you could pull that over.
If I could hold you one more time.
Farley, you're a successful financier, and I've got to make some money. Could you tell me how to go about it?
How much have you got to make?
$1,000.
Well, why don't I let you have it? I will, you know.
Any strings?
Naturally.
Naturally.
I'd say a prayer each time.
Good night, darling. Take good care of my big sister, won't you?
Take care of me.
Bye, darling. Don't worry now, I'm here.
No, I won't. Have a good time.
Thank you, Harry. Bye, dear. I'm so petty now.
Don't think you will miss all those complications, Jimmy?
No, sir. Besides, marriage is good discipline. Makes a man less selfish.
Well, if you think so highly of it, why don't you try it?
Oh, it's not for me, sir. I need to be more selfish.
You may as well understand, Freeman, that even though I am no longer a lively young bachelor, I haven't given up all my bachelor privileges. Life may not be as simple for you as you seem to hope. Is that fair?
Yes.
Now you may bring me another piece of toast.
Yes.
What's the money for, then?
Oh, you know, clothes and things. Dennis doesn't understand that a woman has to look decent.
You want me to talk to Dennis for you, then?
You do and I'll poison.
What are you going to do? Did everything off for you only 2 months ago.
Not everything. I didn't tell you everything. Joan, I hate to ask you, but I've got to get that money somehow.
Well, I haven't got any more money of my own to give you, Val, and I just can't let you have any of John's.
But John will never miss it. Everybody says he's putting the Fletcher line back on the map.
Oh, that is the most wonderful news, Mr. Lane. John really has great ideas for the Fletcher line.
Yeah, I heard he had. Your father told me. He's safely married.
Don't you wish I would be, too?
Only if you'd be happy, my dear. You've never been the worry and responsibility Valerie has. You're the steady, dependable one.
Well, I wouldn't count on that anymore, darling. I'm thinking of going frivolous on you any minute.
Where's the car, Dad?
Right out in front.
Hello, Joan.
Hello there.
Valerie. More trousseau? Lucky girl. Why?
Well,
She's a very clever woman, Johnny.
she is.
Why did you marry her?
Isn't the answer to that quite obvious?
But you don't love her?
Well, really, Monica, I think I'm the best judge of that.
I suppose you know it's common gossip that she married you for your money.
It's about as true as most common gossip.
Sorry. Johnny, do you remember the last time we were together in this place?
No, I don't think I do exactly.
You don't dare. You loved me then.
I wonder if I do.
Oh, Johnny, are you ditching me completely?
You little racketeer, will you kindly remember that I'm married?
Oh, can't you forget it even for a little while?
I don't want to. Now, I've had a suspicion for some time that I've been a bit of a sap. I've just been waiting for something to confirm that suspicion.
Has it been confirmed?
I think it has.
By me?
No. By my wife.
Hello, dear. Hello, Mrs. Page. I saw you just as I was leaving. I wanted to invite Mrs. Page to come and spend the weekend of the 13th with us, out at the ranch. Will you come, Mrs. Page? I'm only having 6 or 8 people, and you know most of them.
I'd love to. Thanks so much.
That's fine.
Won't you sit down, Joan?
Oh, thanks, dear. No, Eleanor Weston's waiting for me. I'm so glad you'll come, Mrs. Page. John will tell you how to get there and everything.
Oh, I know the way to Johnny's ranch.
Oh, yes, of course you do. I forgot. We'll see you Friday night, then. Do come in time for dinner. Come on, let's get out of here. Check, please. I wonder if she'll be as successful with him this time as she once was. Who can tell? Men are so flattered when a good-looking woman yearns over them. I know how I can tell.
If you're mad about him.
If I have to compete with that siren, I want it to be on equal terms.
How do you like it?
Oh, what a lovely play. It made me want to be all feminine and clingy.
Good. I hope the effect lasts. Oh, here comes our car. We haven't decided where we're going.
Oh, anywhere at all. As long as it isn't too noisy and crowded, huh?
I've got it. Why don't we go to my place? It's quiet. Really rather nice. You've never seen it, have you?
No.
The liquor's very good. And there's a balcony with a grand view of the city.
I know. On a clear day, you can see Goat Island. Does sound alluring.
So generous to her that she can't understand why I don't go to Dennis.
If I were you, I don't think I should say anything to her about this.
All right, I won't.
I can never thank you enough, John.
Valerie, give me that check.
No.
Give it to me.
Oh, it's all right.
You don't understand, John. Did you hear me, Valerie? Give me that check.
Oh, my dear, what are you doing that for?
Because I won't have my sister sponging on you.
But she isn't sponging, my dear. Why, it's the first time she's ever borrowed a penny.
Well, it isn't the first time she's borrowed from me. She's been doing it ever since we were married. What did she tell you the money was for?
Household bills? Rent?
Rent. Well, I'm afraid you'll find that it's for hats and dresses and chiffon underwear.
Just true, Val?
Some of it's for clothes, yes.
The money they're suing you for, is that for clothes?
Yes.
You see, John, she's got herself into this mess through her own selfish extravagance. Now, I've told her that I'm not going to help her any longer. And it's time she faced it for herself.
You're a fine one to talk, you are.
That's true, Val. Joan's right. There's just one thing for you to do.
Oh, yes, and what's that?
Tell Dennis the truth about your debts and tell him that I'll get him a loan from the bank to pay them if he hasn't it.
Tell Dennis. That's all any of you think of. Well, I won't tell Dennis. I'm not going to be treated like an irresponsible child. There are plenty of men who will give me that money, and I won't have to pay it back either.
Oh, now, don't be a fool, Val.
Valerie, you wouldn't.
Why not? Is it any worse than you did? You got yourself a nice rich man to shell out the money, only you tricked him into marrying you, which makes it all right, I suppose.
Oh, now, that'll be enough of that, Val.
Oh, will it? Well, maybe you didn't know that it was a put-up job the night Father found Joan in your apartment.
Valerie, you're insane.
What do you mean?
Why do you think he went to your apartment that night? He went because I sent him, and I sent him because she telephoned me she was there. She had it all planned beforehand to make you come through and marry her. Ask her if she didn't. Just... Farley Drake's coming to dinner tonight, isn't he?
Yes.
He'd, like to make love to me.
Would you like to have him?
No. Oh, my gosh, look at the time. I've got to take off if I expect to be back here for 8 o'clock dinner. Is the Postmaster General like royalty that your guests have to be here ahead of him?
Well, it would be nice if you weren't late.
All right. Thanks for the 5. Oh, don't say anything about the new dress I'm wearing tonight. I'm hoping Dennis won't notice it.
Is that true, Joan?
She knows it's true.
Joan, answer me. It isn't true, is it?
Yes, John. It's true.
Weston. It's my fault.
How could it be your fault?
Well, Denny, Fletchers don't seem to like their own party well enough to show up.
Oh, they'll be here.
That's the old schooner John's great-grandfather started with.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Lane.
Hello, Joan.
Please forgive me for not being here in time to greet you.
Oh, of course, I was almost late myself. How do you manage to look lovelier every time I see you?
Oh, well, it does take a bit of doing, I can tell you.
Have a cocktail, Journey?
Oh, thank you, Father.
Where's your glass, Oliver?
Oh, right here.
Did you see John?
Yes.
Is he coming back? What on earth are you going to tell Oliver?
Where's this high-powered husband of yours, Joan?
I'm expecting him any minute, Mr. Lane. He just had to go out of town today. He really is a slave to his business.
Do you think you could find me another drink?
Don't you think maybe you've had enough before eating? All right, I'll get you one.
Well, Freeman, why don't we eat?
Mrs. Fletcher asked me to hold dinner a little while. But the cook says if we hold it much longer, it'll be a bust.
This dinner's a bust already, Freeman.
Yes, sir.
When I tell Denny you offered me $1,000, what do you think he's going to do?
But you're not going to tell him.
Sure I am. Let's have another drink. He should know there are other men that'll give me $1,000 even if he won't.
What you need is a little air. Come on.
I've eaten so much caviar I don't want any dinner.
The doctor's secretary telephoned Mrs. Weston and said you'd perhaps better come home as soon after dinner as possible. He said there was nothing serious, not to be alarmed.
Thank you, Freeman. Well, Leonard, I think we'd better go right away.
We'll have to wait for a taxi.
Well, Folly Drake's car's here. He'll take his if you don't want to wait for a taxi.
Do you suppose he would?
Sure, I'll ask him.
Oh, darling, I'm so happy. I always thought you'd come back.
You did. I don't know why you care.
I don't either. I sometimes think it's a mulish trait I inherit from my grandfather. Besides, I didn't like the way you were lifted from me in the beginning.
I'm awfully sorry to intrude like this, Mrs. Page. But there was something I had to say to John tonight.
I think you and I are better off without any further discussion, Joan.
I don't think we are, John. I don't think you understand.
Oh, I can understand everything. I was always surprised that you... Well, I don't want to talk about it. Certainly not here.
Shall we avoid any kind of a scene, Mrs. Fletcher? Neither John nor
I don't make scenes, Mrs. Page. I came here to tell you something that's very important, John. At least, it's terribly important to me. I've admitted that I tricked you into doing the honorable thing.
Johnny, then you didn't walk out on me. You married her because you had to.
I still see no necessity of going over it all.
Only this necessity, John. Ever since we were married, I've been deeply and bitterly ashamed of the trick I played on you. It was a rotten thing to do, and I always knew the day would come when I'd have to tell you. So when Valerie burst out with it this afternoon, I was glad.
But let him. Do them both good. No husband and wife can settle down to a civilized companionship until they've fought two or three good separations. Might better be about money than lovers.
Glad.
Yes, I was. I said to myself, well, at last he knows. You see, John, when I first met you, I had a theory about marriage. I thought marriage was a business, especially a woman's business. And love was an emotion. And like a man who won't allow emotion to interfere with his business, I was determined that love should not interfere with mine. My theory might have worked at that, I think, if you hadn't had one of your own. In the face of that opposition, I let you in for it. Because I was so sure that once given a chance, I could be useful to you. And that I could really help.
All right, Freeman, that'll be all, I think.
Very good, sir. Good night.
Good night.
course. He would.
Would what?
Carefully close the door.
Certainly, I've got him trained.
About her. Father, will you please stay and take care of things and bring her into dinner as soon as she's able to stand up? Well, shall we go in, Mr. Lane?
Well, I hope Valerie will be all right.
Oh, yes, really, she's quite all right. As a matter of fact, I think it was just one cocktail too many on an empty head. You know what that always does.
Well, you mean on an empty stomach?
Well, yes, of course. What did I say? Well, I suppose there's just no use ignoring the fact that my dinner party has diminished almost to the vanishing point. I'm afraid this dinner was fated right from the very beginning. Some things are, you know.
Don't you worry, my dear. I intended to wait until John came, but I think you ought to know now. He's going to get the mail contract.
Oh, Mr. Lane, that's so splendid. Oh, John will be so happy. And so am I.
And you can tell him from me that it's all on account of you. Yeah, I like to put these husbands in their places.
You know, work isn't nearly so dull as I used to think it was.
I can see it isn't.
Valerie? All right. You understand? Right. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. When the work palls, you have my number.
That's right. Bye.
She asked if you would call her as soon as you came in, or before.
Well, thank you, Freeman, very much. Good night.
Good night, sir.
Thank you. Joan.
I'm sorry, Father.
There seems to me to be only one thing for you two to do. But John suggests you may not want to marry him. I can't believe you'd give yourself to a man you didn't love.
After all, why not be a Lily when it's so pleasant? Well, let's talk about you. That's much more interesting.
All right. You know that today's an anniversary? It's just 2 months ago tonight that I first called on you in your apartment.
Yes, I wondered if you'd think of it.
Did you?
You want me to lie or tell you the truth?
Oh, go on, lie. I want to believe it.
Well, it's no fun to lie to you, Joan. You know, you're just about the only girl I've ever known who can stand the honest truth. You're so darned honest yourself. Pleased to have met you. What's the hurry?
Oh, hello, Mr. Fletcher.
Police after you?
Well, hello, John. Thought you were playing polo.
So did I. But once a year I have to take an interest in the shipping business, and today was the day.
How are you, Fletcher?
How do you do, Colonel? Did your father hear me prowling around your kitchen at 2 o'clock this morning?
Don't think so, but if you did, he probably thought it was just burglars.
Hey, big boy, what do you think you're on the street or something?
Oh, goodbye. Father is obstructing traffic.
You haven't forgotten I'm coming again tonight.
No, you better make it 7 o'clock if we're going to the theater.
I'll be there.
Since when have you and John Fletcher got so chummy?
Since last night, he brought me home from Eleanor Weston's, and we're dining together tonight.
What's this, Joan? You running out with the playboy of the West 2 nights in succession?
Uh-huh. And if I'm as good as I think I am, It'll be several more nights in succession.
What about Monica Page?
What about her?
Isn't John Fletcher her private preserve?
Isn't married to her, is he?
He isn't married to anyone and never will be if he can help it. That boy's fast on his feet when it comes to avoiding the minister.
Well, they all slip sometime.
Got your eye on him, Johnny?
Well, he seems to be favoring me with a little flicker of interest. And I've been told that the Lord helps those who help themselves.
Oh, but he's such a lazy beggar. Look how he's neglected the shipping business his father left him. 5 years ago, the Fletcher line was famous. And now what is it? And all because he'd rather play polo than work.
Give me an idea, Father.
From Monica's little boyfriend?
Mm-hmm. From Monica's little boyfriend.
Not in love with John Fletcher, are you, Joan?
No?
He in love with you?
You won't need all that. Drake's gone. Miss Valerie is what you may call out. Mr. Moore and the Colonel are looking after her. That leaves only two to be served, Mrs. Fletcher and the Postmaster General.
Oh.
Denny, take Valerie out in the air.
Oh, what's wrong? Valerie, you think?
Yes, just a little. Well, she isn't exactly faint. She'll be quite all right, really. Denny knows just what to do.
Johnny, you've only got one life. And you were such a dear playboy.
You'll find others.
Don't you think I've tried ever since your marriage? I hate like the deuce to admit it, but there isn't anybody else in the world like you, Johnny.
You're sweet, Monica.
Polly Drake. What's Valerie up to, Joan?
Nothing. Polly and Dennis are great friends.
I think you'd be very foolish to give her any more money.
Maybe so, but I'm afraid Dennis really will leave her if she doesn't cut out some of her extravagances. Makes me so mad I could hiss.
But I thought it was to be a business proposition. No emotion to spoil it.
That's what I thought.
Say, how would you fellas like a glass of beer or a cocktail or something? My tongue's hanging out.
Oh, thanks, Denny. No, I have to run. Besides, I have an engagement.
And not with John again.
Yes, John.
Maybe someone ought to look into this.
Well, maybe somebody ought.
Shall I call him up and ask his intentions?
No, dear.
Why not?
He might tell you.
But Joan, you haven't seen half of my new things.
Oh, I'll stop by in a day or two, honey. Oh, don't come down with me.
I'll turn the lights on. It's getting dark.
Oh, Val, if your telephone rings tonight, answer it yourself, won't you?
Sure.
Of course. Oh, well, I may just scrap the whole idea. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Monica.
Hello, darling. Been trying to get you for hours. Don't tell me you were here all the time.
No, just got in.
Oh, Johnny, listen. A whole gang of us are on our way to the beach. And as we were passing here, I thought I'd get you to come along.
Well, that's awfully nice of you, Monica, but I'm awfully tired tonight.
Oh, Johnny, do come. I haven't seen you for weeks.
Shall I duck?
I won't let anybody in. Oh.
John? Is Joan here?
Why,
I was afraid so. Joan! I didn't believe it. Not you, Joan. I'd have trusted you anywhere.
Father.
Go and get dressed. Well, John?
I don't know. What do you propose I should do?
I should thought the obvious course for a gentleman to take under the circumstances would have suggested itself to you before this.
Marriage isn't the happy solution of all problems, Colonel. Joan may not care for me as a husband. I've never asked her, but I don't see why she should.
I don't either. Having gone this far, she's probably ready to take the consequences.
At least, may I suggest that the decision to marry or not to marry be left with her?
I don't see how there can be any two ways about it. But if she doesn't want you, I shall not try to force her to marry you.
Quite right. May I offer you a drink?
Yes, I'll have a straight whiskey.
Never mind. I'm glad he knows.
This crab here's 2 bits.
What's the jury's verdict in the case of Mr. Crabbe?
Immediate execution in the nearest match.
Does that mean you want it?
Absolutely. Sold for 2 bits.
Yes, but he isn't making any money yet. He's only losing there.
Car's at the door, Mrs. Fletcher.
Oh, thank you, friend.
You mean you won't help me?
But I can't, dear. I've given you more than I should already.
But you've got to. If you don't, what am I going to do?
Why don't you tell Dennis?
No, I can't tell Dennis. He'd leave me. He told me the last time if I ever did it again, he'd leave me.
Oh, Denny doesn't mean that, darling. He loves you.
He did once. But you don't know what a lot of bills can do to love. You going downtown?
Yes.
I'll go with you.
Oh, good morning, Della.
Good morning, Mrs. Fletcher. Your father's on the telephone.
Oh, thanks. Hello, Father. Never better. How are you? Oh, good. Look, did you talk to our friend the Postmaster General? When? Oh, that's splendid. Then I can call him up and ask him to have dinner with us tonight, can't I? Oh, fine. Will you come too, of course? Uh-huh. What's that? Only 9 holes now. All right, darling. Bye.
How do you like married life, Freeman?
I like it. I'm glad you did it.
Oh, you are, eh?
Yes.
When shall I send it, Mr. Fletcher?
I'll take it.
Yes, Mr. Fletcher.
Did you find that pawn shop all right?
Yes, they were very pleasant. Just like a bank. I could only get $500 on it, but I thought that was better than nothing.
That ring was worth a lot more than $1,000. What good'll $500 do me?
It won't pay everybody, but at least it'll keep them quiet till you can get caught up.
But I can't tell them I can only pay half. It's so darn humiliating.
Well, that's the last I can give you, Valerie. I mean it.
I'll never ask for any more if I can ever get out of this jam.
Because I'm all out of practice. I don't do anything but work.
Yes, and your manager says that you're enjoying it.
I am, sure I am. I'm getting a kick finding out that these financial wizards I've always been so in awe of are mostly a bunch of schoolboys, outwardly strutting their stuff and inwardly scared stiff.
Yes, and you're finding out that you have a better business head than any of them, and a more intelligent grasp of modern conditions. Oh, you could be a leader, John, if you wanted to.
Little woman's faith spurs husband on to big things.
Oh, it isn't faith yet, my fine fellow. Just hope.
Oh, I didn't mean to be touchy. You really done something for me, Joan, in getting me to work. Don't think I don't know it. I may hate it sometimes, but I appreciate it, too. Well, I've got to dash.
Hello, where is everybody?
Oh, hello, Val. In here.
Hello, John.
Oh, Val?
Hello, dear.
Now, I've got to go. You sit here.
Thanks.
Excuse me for bolting, won't you?
Of course.
Bye.
Bye, dear.
Bye.
Well, aren't you out pretty early?
Yes.
Well, come on up with me while I change. What's the trouble?
Oh, I'm in another mess with Dennis.
What do we do about that? Pretend not to see them? They'll probably see us. Of course, we might hide our heads in the sugar bowl. To be only tactful, I suppose you know this isn't the first time they've met since she got back. Meaning what, dear? Meaning that in my nasty, evil mind, I think Monica Page is again going after your husband. Well, she may get him. What's the matter? Do you want him? I'm mad about him. Going to hand him over as easy as that, huh? I'm getting a divorce from him in a month or two.
Hey, Monica, I'll show you your car, Joan.
Oh, thanks, dear, no. Eleanor and I are walking down to Magnan. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye, dear.
I suppose you're just going to let that splendid, great business slide right out of your hands.
Why not? I don't want it. These splendid, great businesses have too many headaches these days.
Oh, but the Fletcher line has been in your family for so long. Each generation has built it up. How can you bear to let it go into the hands of strangers?
Well, I'd rather let the strangers worry. I've got enough money for my modest needs.
Oh, but you could be such a tremendous success, John, if you wanted to be.
Well,
you know you could.
I like my comfort. I like all the good things in life, and I like the leisure to enjoy them. Mind you, I'm not denying that there are moments when I'm rather tempted to dash out and seize the world by the throat and set about making a great man and a thorough nuisance of myself. Then I consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. And I'm tempted no longer. As a matter of fact, it's making me some new ones. Men in the shipping business, great chaps.
Yes. Yes, so I did.
That's what made me late.
My dear Joan, if that isn't a perfect excuse, you'll never hear one.
You see, sir, Joan and I were married 4 months ago today.
Oh, John.
You must have been away all those 4 months, John.
Hey, wouldn't you gals like a nice bottle of 3 times 2? I'm fainting.
Now, it's perfectly clear what you're to do, Val.
Joan, I believe you've fallen in love with him.
Of course I have. Don't imagine for a moment that Monica believed all that about your work, do you?
She might have if she hadn't seen that hat.
Oh, my dear, I am sorry. Oh, I forgot all about it. I'll never be any good at intrigue, will I?
Oh, it's all right. She doesn't know whose it is.
I'll have to give it to the Salvation Army tomorrow.
Why? She'll never recognize it again.
That shows how little you know about women. There's an exact mental photograph of this hat indelibly imprinted on her memory.
Yes,
Why?
well, life is much simpler for me, sir. At least it has been so far.
I wasn't aware that your life with me had been so complicated, Freeman.
The life of any, excuse me, sir, lively young bachelor in your position is likely to be complicated for his man, sir.
Look.
Huh?
Isn't that one of your ships?
Well, it's one of the companies. I can hardly call them mine any longer.
I wonder if once that feeling goes, you can never get it back.
I don't think so.
Loud very pleasantly, dressed quickly, I'm never late, and in general I am clean, sober, and industrious.
All the wifely virtues, huh? I must recommend you to my bachelor friends.
Thank you, sir. If that's the best you can offer, let's skip it. Were you ever a caliph of Baghdad, do you think?
Possibly.
Tell me, Caliph, what becomes of all your favorites when their day is done? The sack, the bowstring, the Bosphorus?
Oh, nothing as crude as that, my dear.
No more gardenias, perhaps.
Perhaps. Now, see here. Things are pretty nice just as they are, aren't they? Aren't we happy? Aren't you happy, dear?
Of course not. I'm in love. Nobody's ever happy when they're in love.
Well, I'm in love, too. I'm so happy I can't believe it.
Ever think of wanting children?
Sure. Then I pick up the morning paper and read that the basic cause of most of the misery and present world depression is overpopulation.
A most profound and comprehensive conclusion, sir. May I congratulate you? I'm going to get into something cool. And leave you alone so you can telephone Monica.
Well, you don't think I'm going to telephone with you in a room with an extension, do you?
What a nasty, suspicious nature.
It's quite true that our shipping suffers from some of our laws, which ought to be changed. But you know Congress. However, I have a plan, and I hope that John feels as I do about it.
Oh, yes, I'm sure you do. I mean, of course he will. Freeman, I rang twice.
Sorry, ma'am.
Freeman, you didn't understand. I said that I rang twice.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Mr. Fletcher just telephoned from Sacramento. He was exceedingly sorry he missed the last plane and would be late getting here.
Oh, what a shame. John will be so disappointed.
You've got me completely sold on John's business qualifications. But what I want to know is, how is he as a husband?
Oh, John.
I'm terribly sorry, sir, to be late like this.
But I thought you missed the last plane.
Yes, you telephoned that you had.
Oh, yes, I did. But I got a private one that landed me in Golden Gate Park. It's still there, I think. Where's the party?
Oh, we're all that's left. Don't ask me what happened to everybody, because I can't remember.
Never mind, dear. You might open that box.
Yes, what's in it?
It should be a bomb.
No, dear. It's the flowers you telephoned me to get for you.
Oh.
Very well. I have a taxi waiting, John.
Father, may I speak to John for just a moment? Alone, please.
I wait for you downstairs.
Dinner wait too long, no good. Really fake.
You better keep it good somehow.
I say dinner no good. Dinner no wait. Eat now. Everything all wet. Pull it.
I can promise you one thing, John. I'll do my level best to make you a very good wife.
But all I can promise is that I'll probably make you a very bad husband.
Maybe that's more than I deserve.
I'll come around and see you tomorrow, and we'll discuss the details.
At last.
I'll be waiting for John.
Oh, he'll be along. Father, will you tell Valerie she's, somewhere?
He said I mustn't tell you, Denny, and I said I must.
What was it he said you mustn't tell me? Now, for goodness sake, don't start hiccuping.
I'm not starting. I've hiccuped twice before.
What is, Valerie? You look drunk.
I am drunk. And Farley's gone with Eleanor and Leonard.
Where's he gone? For some reason, he decided to drive them home himself.
What's the matter, Valerie? You look drunk.
I am.
Drake's gone, too.
Gone? When?
He's driving Ellen and Leonard home. Said he'd explain later.
Why? Why?
I said I was going to tell Denny, and he said I wasn't, and I slapped him.
What was it he said you mustn't tell me? I've been trying to find out for 10 minutes.
I've been trying to tell you, Denny, but you won't listen.
Freeman, when I ring twice, I want you to come in and tell me that Mr. Fletcher has just telephoned from Sacramento. Say that he regrets that he has missed the last plane, and he may not be able to get here until very late. Now, have you got that?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Fletcher regrets exceedingly
Regrets exceedingly.
Mr. Fletcher regrets exceedingly that he missed the last train from Sacramento. Plane from Sacramento and may not be here until very late.
Yes, that's right. Now, you sure you got it?
Yes, ma'am.
2 rings.
Yes, ma'am.
Joan.
I've been a bachelor all my life because I realized you can't anchor romance. You can't tie it up like a boat to a dock. As soon as you try, something happens. All of a sudden, like that, gone.
Why didn't you refuse to marry me, John? You could have, you know.
Why should I? Divorce or something.
But how could you be sure that I'd agree to give you one?
I assumed that your sportsmanship would at least be equal to mine.
How soon would you like to have it?
Your convenience, my dear. I don't suppose you want to go on with this any longer than is necessary.
Would 6 months be too long?
6 months will be fine. Where do you want to go? Reno? Paris?
Anywhere. Doesn't matter.
Let all the servants go. Shall we go out to dinner or shall I have it sent in?
Whichever you like.
Base is all wet anyway, and they can't eat now. The Fletcher isn't even here. I was told to hold everything until further orders.
And the full-base vessel. I come with everything. Vessels, luggage foot, peanut, fat.
Don't get me very tired.
Now that we've got a real captain living with us, make him explain inflation.
Oh, I understand perfectly. Prices are supposed to go up and up, aren't they, Mr. Secretary?
Well, that's what's supposed to happen.
Well, I feel sorry for the poor little American dollar over in Europe with nobody to back it up.
It still seems to be popular with some people, Sam.
What did the doctor say?
Oh, I couldn't get him. I left word for him to call.
Don't you think you could use one more?
I could use a lot more.
Say, where in thunder is John?
Gone.
It's got me in a swell spot. Because, you see, I fell in love with you. That's really what I came up here to tell you. I couldn't let you go out of my life, believing that I don't. And until this very afternoon, I really thought I still had a chance to win you over and make you happy.
succeeded in making me thoroughly unhappy.
If Valerie hadn't lost her temper this afternoon, could you have said that?
I think it's only fair to tell you that I'm sailing for Europe next week and John's coming with me.
Oh, then, do you still want the divorce, John? Or would a technical marriage stay suit your plans better?
Just one.
That's for lawyers to attend to.
Very well.
Tell the cook that for the first time in my life, I'm getting toast just the way I like it.
Yes, sir. Mrs. Fletcher showed him how to prepare it.
I suppose Mrs. Fletcher also showed him how to prepare the Indian curry we had for dinner last night.
I believe she did, sir.
I hate asking you, but I'm in an awful mess.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Val. What's the trouble?
Well, ever since Denny and I were married, his business has been getting worse and worse. You know how businesses are these days.
Don't I?
Well, Denny's is the worst of any. And he's lost a lot in some bank failure, and the bills have just kept piling up and up. And for the last 3 months, I've been using the rent money to pay them.
Have you told Denny about this?
No. He's nearly crazy with financial worries as it is. And I just can't tell him I haven't paid the rent. The landlord's going to put us out.
Oh, he's threatening that, huh? How much do you need?
$1,000. I know it's a lot, John, but I'll pay it back. I swear I will, just as soon as I can.
Now, don't get excited. I'll give you a check and all your troubles will be over.
Oh, John, I hate asking you. You don't know what this means to me, John. I've been nearly frantic for weeks.
Oh, that's all right, my dear.
Our bills?
Yes. We never fight about anything else.
How much?
Over $1,000.
Oh, Val. Oh, you can't possibly owe that much. Why, pay... I love John, Father.
I'm glad of that, my child. Then, of course, there's nothing to prevent the announcement of an engagement and marriage in the near future, is there?
Well, after all, I guess it's none of my business.
Well, why isn't it? Your income will be considerably affected.
You seem to forget that your business will have nothing to do with my income very shortly.
Well, your alimony, then.
Do you think I'd take it? Do you think that's why I married you?
No. Don't you be touchy.
Not if John is willing.
Is there any doubt of John's willingness?
You want to marry me, Joan?
Yes, I do, John. Is the lovely Monica coming into the picture again, darling?
Not unless I suddenly lose my mind.
Think you're likely to?
Not while you take an interest in me.
You mind if I ask you a question?
Certainly not. Shoot.
Why didn't you ever marry Monica Page?
There's never any question of marriage between Monica and me.
Haven't you ever wanted to marry any girl?
Well, not irresistibly.
Satisfied to be a bachelor all your life, huh?
Madam, you're not by any chance proposing to me or anything, are you?
Why not? You could do a lot worse.
Huh?
I have quite a number of accomplishments.
For instance?
Well, I'm a very superior cook and an economical housekeeper. I don an excellent sock. Here, Valerie, will you take a little active interest in these vegetables? I've got to change. Come along, Father. Soup's ready.
Come and get them, children.
Why, Colonel, are you running out on us?
Yes, I've had a glass of sherry and my dinner's ready. If you'll excuse me.
Yes, sir.
We don't always entertain the kitchen, but this is a cook's night out.
Oh.
Bring that plate, Denny. We're going to the little club if you'd care to join us later in the evening.
Oh, it's too noisy and crowded. Don't expect us. There's no telling where we'll go. Thanks for the gardenias, John. I didn't by any chance tell you that they were my favorite flowers, did I?
No, you didn't. I just thought they were like you, sort of coolly virginal, yet exquisitely inviting. I thought that all out by myself, too.
Just a fool.
Must I drink alone?
Oh. Well, I'm afraid you must. This is the last one.
I'll share it. Can you be trusted?
Can you?
In drinking, yes. Yes, it was after midnight when I got in.
Did your director show a gleam of intelligence?
No?
Things just as bad as ever, huh?
Terrible. Couldn't be worse if I'd been running the business for the past 5 years.
I have an idea to myself. I don't know. Have I ever told you that Father and the new Postmaster General are old cronies?
I don't believe so.
Well, they are. And Mr. Lane is in town just now. And Father and I wondered if maybe he might be persuaded to give you the government mail contracts. That would help some.
Mr. Fletcher's apartment? Oh, yes, Mrs. Page. No, I haven't forgotten. Mr. Fletcher hasn't come in yet. I don't know, but I'll give him your message as soon as he comes in. Yes. Very well, Mrs. Page.
I want to reserve 2 compartments for New York tomorrow on the Golden Arrow. Oh. Well, will you get them for me?
Good morning.
Oh, hello. Had your breakfast?
Yes, thanks. Out in my room. I know you'd rather have breakfast alone. Mind if I have a cup of coffee with you?
Why don't you?
Got some fresh coffee, Freeman?
Yes, Mrs. Page.
And a pot of hot water, Freeman.
Is your coffee too strong?
Oh, it's perfect. I ordered the hot water for you.
Thank you. Oh,
What's the O for?
nothing. I was reading a new recipe for tomato surprise. Your meeting lasted quite late last night.